Milwaukee Open champion, Vincenzo Balistreri. I got your name correct, so that's a huge win for me. Huge win for you this Open.
Yes.
So you played the red-green Eldrazi deck. Yeah. This deck caught a little wind after the GP win.
Yes.
You know, had you been working on the deck, playing it since then, or what kind of?
I picked up the deck right after Bloodbraid was unbanned. I felt like Bloodbraid fit well into the deck, and it countered Jace well, so I figured that was a good place to start.
Okay. And now you're living out in Portland and decided to fly out here despite the double GP up in Seattle.
Yes.
What's going on there?
I'm from Milwaukee, so it was nice to come home and visit family. I also love Modern as a format, so I was excited to play some Modern.
Right, everyone loves Modern. Our largest Open yet, so you get to claim the title of largest Open champion.
Wear that title belt.
So pretty nice. You know, take us through, some of your matches. You were the #1 seed into the top 8, and you took it down pretty convincingly.
Yes. I think that the red-green Eldrazi deck does the most important thing in Modern, which is make more than 2 mana on turn 2. And it has multiple ways of doing that with Hierarch and with Eldrazi Temple. So I think that helps beat a lot of decks and most of the decks in the field.
Right, we saw that back in the day with Banned Eldrazi doing the same thing.
Yes.
Noble Hierarch, the Temple, and also Ancient Stirrings, another card you have access to in your deck.
Yes, exactly.
All very powerful cards in the Modern format, and you were just able to get out in front of people and just beat them down all weekend.
Yeah, you get to be very proactive with your threats, which I enjoy as well. There's a lot less worrying about what my opponent is going to do and forcing them to worry about what I'm going to do.
Take us through the last 2 matches there. So in the semifinals, you had to play against Jeskai. Looks like a nightmare matchup for the control deck. You have so many creatures that have haste, and Thought-Knot Seer in general, just a hard card for them to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also have Cavern of Souls. So if I can find a Cavern of Souls, then most control decks, they have to allow my Reality Smashers and Thought-Knot Seers to resolve. And it's pretty easy to pull advantage after that.
All right. What about the finals match against Burn? You had played him in the Swiss, if I recall correctly.
I did. And Burn is a tough matchup, but going into the event, I decided to main deck a Thragtusk, specifically for that matchup in the mirror, and it paid off in the finals.
It definitely did.
Yeah, definitely. I also chose to main deck Batterskull, which is very good in the Burn matchup, and I chose to play that over the Endbringer. It felt better in faster matchups with allowing me to stabilize with the life gain, and it also felt good in the control matchups, having a threat that could, I could bounce back. It's
good if you were going to win anyway.
Right, so your flex slots were the Thragtusk and the Batterskull. Anything else going on differently?
I'd say the one other flex spot was a second Mind Stone, and I just didn't really have anything else to play, and it helps. It doesn't help you make 3 mana on turn 2, but it does help you make 4 mana on turn 3.
Right.
So I chose to play a second Mind Stone as well.
Take us through game 3 there. You guys both mulligan to 6. You said you said something along the lines of, if I mulligan this and I lose, it'll be the biggest regret of the tournament.
Yeah.
I think he had something similar going on there with
Definitely,
his hand. So.
Yeah. I had a Mountain and 2 Bolts, and I had a turn 3 Thought-Knot Seer. But the bolts were my only interaction early, so if he was on a creature plan, I think I probably would have been fine if I could bolt his Goblin Guides or his Eidolons or his Swift Spears, and then let Thought-Knot do the work from there. And I also had a Reality Smasher, so after 2 or 3 turns, I find that 5th land. But I chose to mull, and it worked out well.
When he doesn't play a second land on turn 2, what are you thinking?
I am thinking that that's great, because I'm making 3 mana on turn 2 while he is making 1 mana on turn 2.
Yeah, and then you ended up with Kitchen Finks and plenty of life gain. He couldn't deal with that in the second game. It was enough to seal the deal.
Definitely.
Any thoughts about the deck going forward? Any switches? Anything you want to put in the deck?
So in that last game, I sideboarded a Warping Whale, and I like that card a lot first burn. Sometimes to make a 1/1 blocker, sometimes to help me ramp to that mana that I want, sometimes to counter a sorcery spell. But it felt a little unimpactful every time I played it during the tournament. So I think that's the slot in my sideboard that I'll reconsider.
All right, well, you said a bunch of your friends were at GP Seattle, so they probably didn't see you win the tournament.
They didn't, yeah.
But when you come back, you get to show off a little hardware.
Oh, yeah, this is my new Germ token, I think.
All right, that'll do a pretty good job. Well, we want to say congratulations. You put on a great show. #1 seed all the way through, taking it down. I'm going to send it back over to Cedric and Patrick one last time here in Milwaukee.
Congratulations to our Milwaukee Open champion, Vincenzo Balistreri, with Green Red Eldrazi. Heck yeah.
That was sweet.
That was sweet. That's not a deck I expected to see.